Welcome back to our lesson of Adobe After Effects. In this lesson, we are going to learn all about motion tracking, and we are also going to learn about camera tracking, and also we are going to learn about that, let's say, some animations that we can put after all of this lesson, or let's say after all of the things which I'm going to show you, because motion tracking helps you to make something very interesting, because it's going to focus on something that's going to track it up, which is going to be helped by Adobe After Effects. You don't have to do that much of work, okay? You just have to use the tools and let Adobe After Effects do its work. So without any further ado, let's just jump into the lesson where we are going to learn about motion tracking, okay? So as we're done, I'm going to do is delete all of this because I don't need it anymore. I'm going to click on delete. I'm going to press on composition and make up a new one. I'm just going to press on OK as we have our first comp. Now I'm going to do is going to be opening up one of a video which I have on my file. Now it is opening up the file which I'm going to use, and you will see that it will appear right over here. I'm going to do is just paste it right around over here and see how it basically works. I'm going to do is zoom out and see how it actually functions. I'm going to do is obviously make it a bit more like this, okay, which looks a lot more better. I'm going to see and play it out, and you can see it is rendering up all of the details of the specific video. You can see also that it is on 25 FPS and also 48 kHz, and also the resolution is 2160p. So that means that if you have a high resolution video, it's not going to like obviously cause problems in like, destroying the pixels or, damaging them. So you have to keep that thing in mind. But if you are still not like getting that perfect type of resolution, you will be able to, make up, or let's say the higher resolution of a specific video. And one thing is that what you're going to do is make a composition out of this video. What you're going to do is take this video and make to this comp. Just drag it out on this comp button, and you will find out that your video has turned into a composition. Now we are going to start our composition or motion tracking from this specific video or this specific composition. Now there are a couple of things you have to keep one thing in mind. That is, in motion tracking, what you're going to do is going to be finding out your specific points and obviously letting Adobe After Effects scan it up for you. But I'm not gonna keep the whole video to be this 8 seconds, okay? I'm gonna do is decrease the size of this video and keep it somewhere around 6. I can also keep it to be 8, but I prefer it to be 6 seconds so that it works a lot more better. I'm gonna do is keep it somewhere around, let's say 6, just like I told you. And this is basically what I need. I'm gonna do is play the video and see how it actually works. And then we are going to let Adobe After Effects scan that specific part. But there is a couple of things, let's say the usage of the motion tracker. You have to place it up and you have to like fix out the specific position for that. I'm going to do is going to be playing it and see if it works. Now the video has been rendered. I'm going to do is just play it up and see if it works. Play it. And it's going to give you the result of the specific video. And after you play it for once, on the second time it will be a lot more better. You can see now it is a lot more smoother. Okay, I'm going to keep it, okay, let's just keep it to be 5 seconds. I'm going to keep it to be 5 seconds because all of it is rendered. Now what I'm going to do is going to be motion tracking it. And if you want to do motion tracking, there is going to be adding in another layer. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now. So now I'm going to do is open up my tracker panel. Just go over to Windows and find out the tracker. You can see the tracker over here, and you will find it out over here, okay? But first thing what we're going to do is going to be adding in another layer. I'm going to do is, let's say, the viewer, okay? Now you can see that I have a viewer layer over here. I'm going to do is just pause it up and use this one, okay? You can use whichever one you prefer. I'm going to do is going to be tracking in one of the substance. So I'm going to do is first off track motion. Then you will find out this type of box appears up, which is at the 0 point. So first off, let me just remove it because I don't need this viewer point right now, or viewer, let's say the panel right now. So I'm going to do is going to be selecting one of the point. First I'm going to do is drag it up over here. This guy is going to be the tracking point. Okay, I'm going to do is take it up right on this guy. I'm gonna do is increase the size of this guy, and I want this tracker, tool to track this guy, and obviously, track him up like the whole video. Okay, now what I'm going to do is going to be, let's say, as I have my tracker point, I'm going to do is play it up, and it will take a bit of a time to render up my video. And after it will render, I'm going to do is just press on play. And you can see it is still not tracking the position of this guy. So I'm going to do is going to be tracking point and find out the person over here at the beginning again. I'm going to take it at the beginning and find it out at the first one. We have the tracking point. So what we're going to do is going to be finding out which position or which part is still visible, okay, at the end. You can see this is basically how it works. I'm going to do is play the video, the whole thing. I need to play the whole video so that I can get which part of this guy is still visible at the end. I suppose it's the surfboard that is helping it. Okay, I'm going to do is find out over here, which is going to be somewhere around, let's say I'm going to do that again. And the feature point should be the surfboard, right? So I'm going to do is find out or use the tracking point on the surfboard. So I'm going to do is take it up at the beginning. Then I'm going to do is take it down a bit more down. I'm going to do is zoom out a bit. And on this layer, I'm going to do is fix out the surfboard or feature the surfboard because that is still visible still at the end of the video. So I'm going to do zoom in again and find out my exact or appropriate type of position. Well, I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to do is fix out the surfboard. And let's say I'm going to do is select the sky this time. So I'm going to do is increase the size. And if it's still not working, I'm going to use a new footage. I'm going to click on play and find it out. And you can see that it is moving somewhere like this, okay? What I'm going to do is, first off, pause it up. And you can see basically this is how it will work. I'm going to do is going to be finding out the composition. But yet you will find out that the guy is being obviously, tracked. So I'm going to do is, first off, start off from over here. And you can see the starting point of this. And yet it is going on. You can see the tracking point. I'm gonna do is find out this and play. You can see the guy is being still tracked, and let's see how far it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna do is just keep it on render and play, and after it is done, we are going to see if it actually works on this type of videos. Well, I'm just showing you an example of how this tracking or motion tracking works. But if it does not work, then you have to obviously apply a bit more of, let's say, more tracking on it and more values on it, okay? Because this is a bit complex when you are working with a lot of details. So as this motion is not working perfectly, let's just move to, or let's just, show you with another video. I'm going to do is delete this part. I'm going to do is delete this one. And even though you know how you'll be able to do it. So as I have my another video, well, this will be a lot more simple. I'm going to do is just find out the one which I'm going to do is, let's say I'm going to do is start off from over here. And I'm going to just keep it somewhere like this, okay? And this is basically where it will start. Then I'm going to do is going to be finding out the position. Let's say I'm going to do is start off from 4 seconds. This is where it's going to start off from. So from here, I'm going to do is keep it around, let's say, this one. Somewhere around 14 seconds. Now what I'm going to do is find out the panel of track motion, and I'm going to click on this tracking point, and I'm going to do is take this up over there, and I'm going to find the car. This is where it is supposed to be. I'm going to do is decrease the size, and I'm going to do zoom in. And this is basically where it's going to be. I'm going to do is take it up a bit to the left side. This is the whole indicator. Zoom in. And we have our motion tracking part. I'm going to do is zoom out. And then what we're going to do is just play it up. And if it's still not working, then we have to like fix out a bit more. Okay, so as we are done with this track point, I'm gonna do is just play it up, and I can see that the part and the track is being done, and this is a lot more easier and a lot more specific than the previous one which we did on, let's say, the surfing one. You can see that every part of this video is being tracked. Okay, so now you know how you'll be able to track up your specific motion of a specific video. You can see up till 10 seconds we have all of the tracking points done, and obviously it will just rotate it just like this, and at a stage you will see that it might get, let's say it might lose the focus, but yet it is still catching up to the specific video or the specific part of the car. Okay, then you can also add in a specific text on that specific place. So I'm gonna be done. Now you can see that each and every part of this video was tracked and all of its motion. So I'm gonna do is go off on the first part. Now let's see how it works. What I'm gonna do is just play it from over here because this is where it started. What I'm gonna do is just play it up. You can see this, every part of this video was tracked. Okay, you can see all of it was tracked. See? Now, as all of it is like perfectly tracked, you can also fix up your tracking type. Let's say if you want to fix the rotation, you can also fix the scale. You can also track camera, the wrap stabilizer, and all of those all at the same time. But as I want only the track camera or the tracking motion of a specific video, well, I am done with this basically. So this is basically how you will be able to track motion of a specific video, but make sure to do it on a layer, not on the main composition, because sometimes when you apply the same, let's say the motions on a specific composition or the main composition, you might face a couple of problems. Let's say the dots might appear up and you might find it to be kind of a hassle to remove it later on. But you can also, like, obviously you have that functionality of pressing undo for you are going to be done. Okay, but obviously I'm going to suggest you to do that edits or whatever you do on your layer panel. Now what we're going to do is going to be adding in a null layer. So I'm going to right click on it and press on new and find out the null object. And obviously the null object is invisible, but it contains the properties of the visible layer. So I'm going to do is increase the size of this and find out the anchor. And obviously I'm going to do is make the anchor is in the middle part. So I'm going to do is click on this anchor mover or whatever you call it. Okay, I'm going to do is just click on it and make sure that it is in the center. So I'm going to click on this anchor and keep it snapped at the center. So I'm going to like remove snapping again. And after I'm done removing snap, I'm going to do is click on the selection tool. And when I open or extend this up, you will find out the transform. And each of this, results or each of these positions are of the visible layer. So you can change it from over here. Okay, you can change everything from using this null, your null, let's say, layer. But one thing is that none of the properties will be changed on the main layer. So this is how it actually works. So you are going to make an edit on something which is overlaying the layer, but it's going to make changes on that one, but it's not going to touch any part of the main layer. So you can just discard it if you feel like, you don't like it. So this is basically how the layers actually help you up with, your work. You can see increase in, you can fix the position, you can fix the opacity, you can decrease it however you want. That's like totally up to you how you're going to work with it. Okay, because if you add in more layers of making changes, you will be able to do that by using the null layer. Now, by using the null layer, what we're going to do is going to be make out the target, okay, the target layer. But I'm going to use is the null layer, okay. So I'm going to do is click on this null layer. I'm going to do zoom out and find out the null layer. But what I'm going to do is find out the edit target. And when I press on edit target, you can find out this second is null one. I'm going to press on OK. Okay, just press on OK and you're good to go. Press on OK. And this null is going to be applied on this. Okay, now you want to use this tracking data. So if you want to do that, what you're going to do is the apply options. Just press on apply, and you will find out this motion tracker apply option, which is going to be X and Y. Just press on OK, and then you're good to go. Okay, so now you have that details on the null layer. Okay, now we can just press on this and you will find out that layer is going to contain all of the data of the tracking motion. So this is like very simple to work with. Okay, now what you're gonna do is going to be, your null object. Okay, now what we're gonna do is going to be your null object is going to be locked on that specific target. And if you want to see that, just click on this, and you can also remove it if you want to. But if you want to remove it, you'll find out that your specific part is still moving. You can see the anchor is like moving just like this. So I'm going to do is increase this, or like, make this visible and see how it actually functions. Now, if I like scrabble on this timeline, you can see that this anchor is moving according to this, according to this layer of videos. Okay, but it's not like rendering all the frames, but yet it is like catching up all of the motion which I recorded using the motion tracker or tracking motion. Okay, then you can also, let's say, add in a couple of edits by using this specific, tracking motion and the data. As we can see, all of the keyframes that has been created on this motion track, what we're gonna do is apply in a text in this specific, track. So to do that, what we're gonna do is first off open up this null, okay, but make sure it is like at the top. And I'm gonna do is increase the size of this null, and we have our position. And in our position, you can see that there are a lot of these keyframes that has been created by using the motion keys. Okay, but I'm gonna do is decrease the size. I'm gonna do is first off add in a text layer. Click on this text option, and what we're gonna do is just type in one text. Let's say I'm gonna press on T. Now what we're gonna do is going to be clicking on the selection subject, and I'm gonna do is like paste it right just over here, or maybe somewhere around over here. But the first thing what we're gonna do is going to be clicking on this parent link and linking it up to over here, and that has been linked to null 1. And you can toggle switch modes. And after we toggle switch modes, I'm gonna do is obviously track this one too, and also parent link. And I'm gonna do is select on this. And if it's still not working, I'm gonna do is keep it around over here. And if it's like not visible, I'm gonna select on this again and play it up. Now you can see that we have our text that is, being, let's say, taken away by this motion, which is being tracked by this card or this tracking data. Okay, so what happens when you parent and link it up is that if the null, or let's say the data of the tracking motion moves, the text will also move. Okay, when you link it up, it's not just text. If you want to add in photo, it will also move. When it rotates the, let's say, the daughter, okay, this is going to be the daughter or the source because this is the parent of T. Okay, so if this moves, this will move too. If this rotates, this will rotate too. If this fades out, this will fade out too, because both of them are now linked. Okay, even though if it's linked, all of the edits that are going to be done on this null one will happen on this one too, which is going to be the T. So now you understand how you'll be able to track up motion and use text animation. Well, you can all do a lot of other animations and interesting stuffs by using this motion track and also text animation and also keyframes. Okay, so hope you understood everything about this part, and let's just move on to our next lesson where we are going to learn about camera tracking and Adobe After Effects.